Hello and welcome to Sam Not So Wise. My name is Sam and today I'm going to talk about some palate cleanser books. So if you're tired of humongous, chunky fantasy big boys, complicated and difficult sci-fi books, really long 20-book series, maybe your brain is just a bit tired from real life and how awful the world is, or you're going on holiday and you need something light and breezy, I'm going to talk about some recommendations I have for those shorter, sharper, easier to digest books that you can use as palate cleansers between big series or whatever you want to do. So with much further ado, let's talk about palate cleansers. So I'm going to start with Sir Terry Pratchett and the Discworld series. Now, I know what you're going to say. You said books between series, not long series. This is a 40-book series, something like that. But it doesn't matter because, first and foremost, you can read all of them basically as standalones. While it does help to have former context, it doesn't really matter. The books are all self-contained, so you can read them all separately and it doesn't affect you in a big way. Another thing is you can read them in subgroups, so there are groups of characters within the wider series. So you have Death, like this, you have the Witches, you have the City Watch, you have the Wizards, you have Moist Van Lipwick, yes that is a name, and some others, and also a lot of actually standalones within it, so you can find those out, you can find reading orders and stuff, so it's not as daunting as it sounds. One thing that these books are famous for is their humour, and they really are incredibly funny, especially if you love British humour. But I think it's got something for everyone in terms of humour, and that really also does move it along and make it light, easy reading between heavier books. But there are themes there if you want them as well. You can ignore them if you want and not read into stuff, but that is part of the humour. Yeah, generally these are like short, snappy books that are just really easy to digest. It took me close to 20 years to finish the series because I treated this as a palate cleanser series. I'd read one between, huge books in big fantasy series and it really helped. And now I'm at the stage where I can start rereading them and I have started that journey. So yes, Terry Pratchett and the Discworld, big recommend for palate cleansers. Now the next one has a little bit of controversy attached to it because I want to talk about Neil Gaiman. Now if you didn't know, he has been accused of some illegal, nefarious deeds. It's not been proven at the moment, and there's always the question of separating the artist from the art. I find that it kind of depends for me on what has happened, but let's not get into that. So it's up to you whether you want to read these or not. No judgment either way. But I will start with my favourite Neil Gaiman book, which is Neverwhere. This isn't many people's favourites, and I don't know why, but this one is really fun if you are if you've lived in London or spent any time in London or know anything about London. It's set in London, but in the underground, the dirty underbelly of London. And it's kind of a dark fairy tale, but with a lot of whimsy and heart. It's a very decently paced book. It speeds up and slows down, and it's full of, again, good humour. It's quite short. So yeah, I think this one would be a really nice one between big books in a series. If you want something light and fluffy, you should read Stardust, which is a fairy tale kind of book, but with Neil Gaiman's spin. Again, it's very whimsical, very fun, and doesn't take itself too seriously. It's super short, but it has a lot of heart, and it really did give me the nice, warm, cozy feelings. So this is one that I highly recommend to squeeze in between books. Talking of little books, here's Coraline. Look how tiny that baby is. And this is actually a story written for children, teenagers, something like that, but it is definitely readable for an adult as well. It is quite a dark story. There's some really scary stuff in this. And again, it has the typical charm and beauty of a Gaiman novel with that British charm, some nice humour, and just a lot of warm, cozy, hearty feelings within the dark, scary spideriness. So yes, Coraline. Next to the sci-fi section, and you can't go wrong with some Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Now, this is kind of classic sci-fi. It has all of the tropes within there, but it is a rip-roaringly funny time. This is kind of the sci-fi version of the Terry Pratchett style, where you like take the classic tropes, turn them on their head, and take the absolute piss out of them. So that is one thing that is going to make this a palate cleanser for you, because you're just going to have a real big laugh. And the sci-fi is actually quite expansive, and uses real heavy sci-fi stuff, but it's done in a way that it's not difficult. It's extremely palatable. And it's just kind of a combination of fun plots, philosophy, and humour. And the books are very short. Don't be fooled by looking at this. This is 4 books of the Hitchhiker's Guide. So I highly recommend these little gems. Now, apparently I am a patriot because all of those authors have been British. And here's another one. It's John Wyndham. This is The Day of the Triffids. And this is like, again, just that charm of the British charm. This is very much a classic sci-fi. It's around the 50s, I believe, was his main time of writing. And it's just short and snappy classic sci-fi, written really nicely. Moyd at Media Death Cult calls this cozy catastrophe sci-fi. So you have that end of the world, alien invasion type stuff, but it feels cozy, it feels warm, and like it's giving you an apocalyptic hug. And there's some really fun concepts in this. They're like little time capsules of the 50s, and it's just beautiful. They're all tiny, so I recommend you squeeze these in when you can. Okay, non-Brits, I will include you too, and I will talk about Blake Crouch. Now, I have only read Recursion and Dark Matter, but these 2 books are like the definition of airport thrillers. The fast-paced kind of mystery thrillers, but with sci-fi concepts. They're extremely plot-focused and like a rapid-paced books. You will fly through these. And they're all based on Earth, which makes it, easy to get into. You don't have to get used to ridiculous sci-fi aliens or planets or spaceships, so that's nice and easy. But it does have some really big, deep sci-fi concepts, but they're not like overly explained. Any explanation he does is all kind of layman's, and it's really understandable. So yes, if you want fast clip books that are mystery thrillers but sci-fi, Blake Crouch is a good way to go. Now I'm going to throw in a slight curveball because I tend to like heavy stuff. Like I like the cozier, quicker paced whatever, but I do like my hardcore thinking stuff, and I'm going to talk about the Gallant's Sci Fi Masterworks series. This one is H.G. Wells, The War of the Worlds, and this is a collection of books, like over 100 books of the great sci-fi classics. So yes, they are kind of harder sci-fi, so if you're not wanting to go in the lighter, fluffier mode, you can pick some of these up because, like I said, there are many to choose from, but a lot of the classic sci-fi books are quite short. So if you're kind of short on time but still want to delve into something deep and mind-blowing, Gallant's Sci Fi Masterworks have you covered for years, and that they keep bringing them out as well, so you have a big pool of resources to read from. So definitely check out this series of books, Gallant's Sci Fi Masterworks. So hopefully a little bit of a shorter video today. Knowing me, probably not. I just wanted to whack something out before I go on holiday. But if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Like I said before, I'm not the biggest lighter palette cleanser book reader, but I'm always looking for more because I do read a lot of big chunky series, big heavy stuff. So if you have some recommendations for me, pop them down below in the comments. Smash that like button and subscribe to my channel for more rambles and stutterings. And I'll just see you in another video soon. Thank you so much. There's a sodding toy plane flying around. Fucking moped.